This is the segment we love to get these calls on this.
It's just uplifting. I don't understand people that feel the need to tear other people down to make themselves feel good about themselves, but we've all encountered that. And the question is, did you
Some people don't do it on purpose, but they don't realize it digs.
Being real with you.
They think they're helping you.
You think that you have big dreams to be something big. Let me tell you something. It's not going to work for you.
Sometimes it helps.
Just aim to be the manager at your local fast food joint. Don't try and be the manager of the financial firms.
It actually does. I will give you a perfect example. My guidance counselor in high school said, college isn't for everybody, Ryan. You'll find something to do. And he just and it motivated me. I was like, well, screw you.
And if they didn't say that, you would have been like, just doing nothing? What do you think you would have gone to college?
No, I still would have done something.
College?
Yeah. I knew I was going to do it.
Also, like back then, people didn't, if they go to college, I don't know. I feel like what generation was it?
Well, back then, college was easy to get into.
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
All the people brag that they love going to UT or something. And they graduated in the 80s, mid-90s. It's like, it's nothing like now.
No.
At one
UT
point,
is
Rice
harder to
University
get
was
into.
free for Houstonians. At one point, Rice University was free. If you wanted to go there, you just go. After I watched that whole college scandal thing on Netflix, I go, how in the hell did I get into SMU my freshman year? I have no idea how I got into SMU. I'm thinking, I want to know the people that got me in there, like the people who looked at my stuff. I was like, oh, this girl sounds smart enough to come here. I don't feel like I was smart enough at all after I watched what kids have to go through now.
It's different game.
And even in radio, like when we first got out of college, there was a local DJ here. He's passed away since then, but he was like a local legend. And I sent in my tape, and he goes, "This is absolutely terrible. You should look for another career." And I was like, "Oh,
that's just not nice."
That's
uncalled for.
I mean, you might think it, but don't say it.
Yeah, come on.
No, he took the trouble to write a snail mail letter to me.
That's crazy.
And tell me how horrible I was.
That's really bad. Paula is up first for Look at Me Now here on the Roula and Ryan Show in 104.1 KRBE. Let's hear her story. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Tell us what it's all about.
Okay, so I was in the hospital, and I was waiting to receive a kidney and liver transplant. If you know anything about the transplant system, some people are on there for years.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we've heard, yes.
Yes, and so sign your donor cards, by the way.
Oh, yes.
So we, my husband and I were sitting he was sitting by my bedside, and the doctors came in and basically said, told him, there's nothing else we can do. She has maybe days or more practically hours to live.
Oh my God.
They called, I have 6 children. They called them in and they sat around my bedside, basically planning my funeral and waiting for me to die.
Oh my gosh.
My husband was staying in the hotel connected to Methodist Hospital at the time. Mm-hmm. He was walking across the Sky Bridge to go take a shower so he could, be fresh, and he had just been by my bedside for so long. Mm-hmm. As he was walking across the skyline, he got a phone call from the transplant center saying that not only did they find a kidney, but also a liver from the same donor.
Whoa,
and
that matched you.
Within 12 hours, I was in surgery, and they transplanted it, and I just celebrated my 2 years.
Whoa, Paula!
Yes.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
So this happened right when COVID was starting.
Yeah, it's been 2
right
years.
When COVID was starting. It was January.
Can I ask you how you feel? How do you feel now?
I feel amazing. I mean, the doctors told my husband that I would never walk out of that hospital. Mm-hmm. And not only did I walk out of that hospital, I've done nothing but soar since then. I've got a new grandbaby. That I've never been able to see. It just,
That's awesome.
If not for God, none of that would have happened.
I'm so happy for you.
And here's the thing, Paula. I think that, in this situation, your Look at Me Now story is like just basically have faith, because I think the doctors with their medical training were just basically saying, we can't just make one up for you, and you're so far down the list. How are we going to find this to save you? And then boom, it just happened.
Exactly.
What were you thinking though when they told you, and they're all around you talking about your funeral, and you're sitting there, like,
what's going through your mind?
Sometimes I feel like I get scared of dying.
And you sound pretty young too. Can we ask how old you are as you're sitting there hearing that your funeral is getting planned? How old were you at the time too?
I was 48.
Like, how did you comprehend that, or could you in your mind? Did you think?
Well, I really wasn't. I wasn't comprehending. Of course, my family was, and now it's kind of funny. But my daughter, who trying to lighten the situation. And, she was like, Mom, you've got to tell us your stuffing recipe before you die.
Aw.
Just because my husband was just, and I'm that way too. I'm joking. My daughter was not being insensitive at all, but what do you do? But I really wasn't. I knew, because I know my husband and my family, and we are a praying family. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had a peace about it. I thought, I'm either going to be healed here or I'm going to be healed in heaven. So either way, I'm healed. So I was a win-win for me, but my family was the one that was,
I'm so glad we still have
Paula,
you.
what a story. 2 years,
and it wasn't your time. It just wasn't your time.
Yes. So
you've got more to do.
Not only did I walk out of the hospital, but within 6 months, I got my motorcycle license, and now I'm just like a biker grandma out there.
Oh, how cool is that? You're living life.
Well,
Paula,
so
I walked out of that hospital, so I triumphed no matter what.
You did, no matter what. That's a great story. Again, I want to throw out taylorsgift.org. That is the Storch family created that website after they lost their daughter Taylor in a freak skiing accident on spring break with family, like so many families did in March. They always go skiing, and they donated her organs and saved all these lives. And we've met them many times, and they've gotten the message out to, like you said, sign your donor card. You just never know. And it's always the sadness of another family is the salvation for your family, but that other family can at least get a little bit of peace that their loved one is living on in some
know that you
help some other family.
Yeah. Your death is not senseless then.
And that's really something. Hours
not that it would
to live, and got the call for the kidney and the liver.
That's like a lottery right there.
Amazing.